Hey, this is Anthony Hannigan. Welcome back to musicmoose.org. Thanks for putting up with all the noodling in between and before the songs. But we last left off playing a jam favorite, Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And we're just doing the chords behind it, so we have no infringement policies. But this is going to be great for your toolkit. And the one thing I like to do, and it started very early on once I recognized the different chord shapes and how they kind of repeat themselves. And you can start this just by hitting your G chord. You don't even have to play. Just hit your G chord and start calling out those chords to yourself and looking where you're hitting those chords. And the great thing about the mandolin that I keep reiterating is that it's repetitious over and over and over. A lot of your tone and your style is going to come from the right hand, but pretty much all your chord shapes and the tone, the actual sound you're going to get is from these chord shapes. So on the Foggy Mountain tune, rather than just chop through like a G, to an E minor, to a G, to an E minor, to a G, to a D, to a G. The one thing I like to do is, okay, where else does the G chord live? It could live anywhere on the neck. And we've done series on this before, but I'll just refresh your minds a little bit. In this particular instance, I'm already ahead of myself knowing that the E minor is right here. And that's the 4th fret on the G string and the 2nd fret on the A string, or the D string. A lot of people look over that, and it's easy to do. I mean, down here is your G, and here's your G too. And just like the 4 chord living right above it, it's the same with any position that you do on the mandolin. So here's my G, like that. That's the 3rd finger on the E string, and the 5th finger, or the 5th fret on the A string. If I go up towards my face here, it's going to be C, and I go up again, there's my F, and we know that E lives right behind it. And if you hit all the strings, it's going to present a minor-like sound. So we're going to go all the way up this way. We're going to start off with this G right here. So I'll go back basic, and then I'm going to jump in. And what I'm going to do is do inversions of those chords, almost like a walking bass or a Texas-style guitar player doing backing up fiddle tunes kind of does, is play the rhythm beats on that. And it works every time. I don't know why it works, but it does work. So in this instance, what I'm going to do is start walking down on the bass notes. And I could do it in the full G. It's going to make it a lot easier. Or I can just come up and cheat a little bit and use this G. So I land right back on the same 2 fingers, like these 2 fingers, but this time I'm up here. So we'll start off with, we'll keep it in at a modest tempo here. And what I'm doing is just dropping, very simple. And all that was just modifying the 7th fret here, going. So what you can do is just sit there and when you're playing, so up to speed, it would kind of sound a little bit like this. What I did that time was throw in the minor chord, and it works. It works right over top of that because you're hitting the G. It's like a G7th. It just gives it a little bit more of a swingier and jazzier kind of sound. But I'm going to walk it down here. G to the E minor, G, E minor, G to the D. And you can do that anytime. You can sit there and you can walk those chords up or down, actually. Kind of come up with different finger placements and just listen to it. There's really no rules when it's picking. There is theory that kind of has the boundary for the rules, but I think it's our jobs as musicians to go and experiment with those boundaries that the instrument has for us. And there's very, very limited boundaries. There's a lot of limitations that one can put on themselves, but boundaries, I don't buy it for one single bit. So that's all we're going to cover right here in this section. We're going to do another tune, maybe a singing one this time with some chords. So stay tuned here at musicmoose.org.